10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh, and we are live, coming at you live right here from our studios, our remote studios, in a place where you just may know or you might never know where we're coming at you live from. But we are coming at you live, and we're not on CKLU today because they have the same glitch that I had a couple weeks ago, where when you go to press play for the show on there, a window opens and wants you to create a file and save a file or something. And I don't understand what that is. It's bizarre. It's beyond me. It happened last week or a couple weeks ago and happening again today. And not sure what it is. I'll have to talk to CKLU's IT department. Let them know that that's happened, and they have over the Christmas holidays to resolve it. And it's very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate, because there's people who are on the radio wanting to listen to the show, and I know that. And every once in a while, they'll just get on, and it's not there. And it's, it's not because of anything I've done on my end. It is because of the bizarre technical issue that I've never seen in my life. You imagine going to press play on your computer to something and a thing pops up saying, "Where do you want to save this file?" You're like, what? That has nothing to do with what I just did. And the odd time I'll go to punch in where I need to go in order to get the show on, and the keys just don't work on that program. But it's just whenever it wants, it just does that. Every once in a while, but this is a new thing. This whole, you press play and, where do you want to save this? What? Whatever. Okay, I'm done with that. We got lots to talk about today. We have a Nick waiting in the green room to come on and talk to us again this morning. And hopefully she'll be able to join us again tomorrow. It's always a great conversation with a Nick. We are streaming live at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the channel, the page. Mainly comment, though, because we want to get your comments up on the screen for those watching. And, and red for those listening. But no one's really listening on CKLU.ca or 96.7 on the terrestrial radio today. We're also found on demand on those two platforms, along with x.com, twitter.com/Sudbury News, and Sudbury.news, which is our news aggregator. You just find that at Sudbury.news. It's not Sudbury.news.ca or anything like that. It's Sudbury.news. If you haven't been there, it just simply aggregates all the local news, Sudbury.com, Sudbury Star, CBC, Sudbury, CTV, Northern Ontario, all into one page. And you get all the stories right there. So you don't have to go searching around for them. You click on them, it goes right to the news sources themselves. They get the eyeballs. They get the monetization on their website so they can make money like they're supposed to do. And then hopefully they make enough money where they don't need handouts from our federal government. So that way they can actually cover the news the way that news is supposed to be covered and be journalists and report the way and keep politicians accountable the way that they need to be doing, because the media has that's what the usefulness of the media is. That's its main thing to do, is hold people accountable by shedding a light on situations, by asking questions. asking questions, and you got a question, and then there's another question, and then why? You know that 3-year-old you have, or is it grandson or granddaughter, or your own son or daughter, or your niece or nephew, and they're like, why? That's a journalist right there, and that's the way that we need to be as human beings as well. If we want to uncover things, the secret to life is asking questions. Thanks for being on, everyone. We look forward to having you on today, commenting, sharing your views on the news. Obviously, the big news in our country is the resignation of Chrystia Freeland, Canada's Deputy Prime Minister. Well, she resigned as Finance Minister. And we already have a new Finance Minister, Legault, Dominic Legault, I believe. And that's that, right? Oh, no, it's not. There's lots to talk about with that. So we'll be back right after the weather to discuss it with yourselves, with Annick Gervais. So stay tuned. Well, it's going to be a great show today. We promise, or your money back. Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently it's 1 degree. Yes, it is 1 degree. There's light snow out there. And today there will be periods of rain or drizzle ending this morning, then cloudy with a 40% chance of flurries. Wind will be gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperature steady near 0. Tonight, cloudy. 40% chance of flurries. Periods of snow beginning before morning and becoming the wind will be moderate, basically. Temperature steady near -3, with the wind chill will be -7 tomorrow, or tonight, sorry. And then Wednesday, periods of snow, 2 centimeters. Temperature steady near -2. Yeah, and then again, so -2, 2 centimeters of snow tomorrow. Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, -12. Friday, 40% chance of flurries, -12. Saturday and Sunday now are saying they're going to be sunny, but extremely cold on Saturday. -18 is your high, and -12 is your high on Sunday. Both days sunny, apparently. And Monday, -7 with a mix of sun and cloud in your satellite here, 5:30 a.m. this morning. Wow, it's just all cloud activity, the whole screen. So that's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with Annick Gervais, your comments, and more on the stories of today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, and before we get to Annick here, I have to undo her microphone, unmute it, and there she is. Good morning, Annick, with your pink microphone.
Good morning, Aaron.
You don't have a comeback for that, I guess, but it is a nice pink microphone. It's looking all symmetrical. You don't have any glasses on this morning as an accessory.
No, I put my contacts on. They like dig in my head. They're so cute.
Yeah.
But they dig in my head. And that's one thing about glasses, which, like, Aaron, I know everybody sees you wearing glasses, but those are blue protective glasses, guys. Those aren't real glasses. And he actually needs real glasses.
I do have real glasses, but I just don't wear them.
What? Because they don't have the blue protective on them?
They do.
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, I just don't wear them because when you wear glasses, your eyes become lazy, and just learn to look through your glasses. And then I notice every time I use them, I take them off, my eyes take a while longer to kind of come back. And then it needs the glasses more and more. And then it's almost like instead of going to the gym, working out, you get a machine that works out for you.
Yeah.
And you just, but it doesn't really do anything. It just
Right.
makes your body lazier.
Well, it's kind of like if your knee is really injured, but you keep using your knee, you might be extending the injury possibly.
No, eyes can be recovered. Like you can
No, they
gain
are. I did see a video of a guy.
Mhm.
If you do these specific exercises.
So your eyes are muscles.
Yeah. But
For sure.
my glasses are stuck on my eyeballs.
They are, for sure.
So
So, I mean, you
I
wear them more than you don't, right? Like, you wear
oh,
them
yeah,
more. So
and I
if you
forget about them, and I
yeah.
sleep with them, and
Eeh.
I'll have them in my eyeballs for 3 days.
Oh, and they're crusted right on there, and you gotta take a crowbar and take them off?
No, I just go like this.
Oh, and they just come out? Okay, well, that's interesting. So joining us this morning, I just want to check in. We got a few people on, quite a few people. So thanks for being on, everybody, and thanks for sharing the show. And Nick, when you do that, obviously you have such a large network that a lot of people come on and check us out for the first time. So good morning if you're on for the first time. We talk about the news, the events that are going on in our communities and are around us, in our province, our country, our world. Try to make sense of things, but it's not easy because the world is getting to be more and more of a confusing place. So
Yeah.
good morning, Nana. Blessings for everyone. Good morning, Denise. Blessings, everyone. Also saying we have over 100, so over 1,000. What is that?
Bases. I
Bases,
don't know, DGI?
DGI bases in Ukraine, used
That's
in Ukraine.
you know.
Hmm. Well, DGI Watch stands for Dajiang Innovations,
Oh.
Chinese company, it looks like. Great Frontier Innovations is a Chinese technology company headquartered in China with manufacturing facilities throughout the world. So, okay, well, thanks for that. That clarifies at least. And David, good morning. I could use an economic advisor. Do you know of any journalists available? So that's a joke, and that's about Chrystia
Oh.
Freeland, because Chrystia Freeland is a journalist, and of course they thought she would make the perfect Minister of Finance of Canada, because obviously if you're a journalist, you know everything there is to balancing the budget of a country and dealing
Right.
with the finances, right? So obviously a part-time drama teacher who is our prime minister is qualified because he's a part-time drama teacher to run a country, chooses a journalist to be his economic advisor, finance minister, and deputy prime minister for that matter. And she's a journalist. So what does that tell you? It says she's good at spinning a story, and that's all he needed. He didn't really
That's
need a
true.
finance minister because apparently she didn't agree with all of his decisions, and they weren't her decisions. Because when she resigned, I don't know if you were aware of this yesterday, Chrystia Freeland, Canada's
Yep.
finance minister. I know you loved her and you loved to listen to everything she said.
Oh, definitely.
You have posters of her
Sarcasm,
on your
everybody.
walls at home.
Yeah, I have a poster of her.
I was hoping to order a bobblehead of Chrystia
Oh.
Freeland, but there are none. I thought, why isn't there a Chrystia Freeland bobblehead? If there was going to be a bobblehead of anybody out there, you would think Chrystia Freeland would have one. Because,
So she sent yeah,
you know,
I'm just an
like,
airhead.
well, I don't know, just a bobblehead, because when she talks, she bobbles her head. And I thought that would be a perfect gift
Yeah.
for everyone
Perfect
in
gift.
Parliament, for all your
Oh,
MPs,
yeah.
a Chrystia Freeland bobblehead. You can put it on your
So
dash
she
of your car.
Yeah, that's just sounds like not a good idea, Aaron. Nobody wants a bobblehead of
Come
the
on. The
Wicked Witch of the West.
former finance minister of Canada now, as she resigned. But
So
she
she
was
sent
fired, though.
Oh, she was
But then
fired.
she resigned.
Oh, but then she resigned.
Yeah, so now all the headlines say she resigned. Like it's all political, right? On Friday, Justin Trudeau said, "Okay, you're going to deliver this budget probably that he put together,
Right.
but have her deliver it, and you can deliver the budget, but you're done." And she goes, "What? Well, before I'm fired, I'm going to resign." Kind
Ah.
of thing. So, but she's fired. So I don't understand. Like, how are you able to get away with this? Can we do this in our work if we're
Right.
fired? Said, no. I resign. So
Well,
that
what
you
an idiot, too. Like, what did you expect, Trudeau? Like, you can't just be like, okay, go do this thing, but then
Yeah.
after that, you're fired.
Yeah. What? The guy's
Like, go in public, announce this information,
yeah, I know.
but then you're fired.
There's so many
Okay.
things we can just shake our heads at this
What?
prime minister.
It's just a bunch of clowns running our country.
Yeah, and I was watching CBC's coverage of it yesterday because
Okay.
TV,
Why not?
CBC, like who else? You can't put on any of the American news. They're not going to be covering it, right? So
No.
I had to watch Canadian news, CBC on TV. They were at least doing the play-by-play and covering it. And, they had cameras that were in the windows. They had their caucus meeting after, just the liberal, insiders in there. And they say, we don't discuss anything. They all came out of the meeting and just didn't talk to reporters, just walked right by them and stuff. And some said a few tidbits. I support the prime minister no matter what. He's our leader regardless.
Right.
But some of them said, no, I don't. And I don't support him. And
Wow.
yeah, and we'll
But
see.
like, was she even good? Why wouldn't you support that? Like, wow, way to go. Like, he actually did something good. No?
The who?
Prime Minister.
Oh no, but it's political. You stick with your leader, right? It's like mob mentality. It's
No,
if
I
you're-
know, but the one people saying that they weren't supporting Trudeau.
Yeah, no, because that's what's happening in his party now. They're fractured. And a lot of
Right.
people thought Chrystia Freeland got the short end of the stick and agree with her more than him. And he comes out, declares himself the biggest feminist, he says. I'm a feminist. I don't know if you've ever heard him say that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you look at the body count now of all of the female members of his party that he's come in conflict with and fired, like it's
They're all women.
astounding. Like, remember Raybould back in the day? She was, head of the Indian Affairs and Indigenous herself. Wow, like you'd think you'd want to hang on to a female Indigenous MP and have her close to you, but no, because what ends up happening, they come to him and say, "Look, I don't think this is right," and then he can't stand it. He can't
No.
be told that he's wrong. Like, he just can't.
No.
And then
It's
he
just tribal.
fires you.
Yes.
You're gone.
Miles says those with very young children know that Krista
Christia?
Freeland.
Mhm.
What's her name? Krista?
Christia.
Oh, Christia. Reminds you of the TV YouTube sensation Blippi.
The children's
one.
show Blippi.
Yeah, which is like the most popular show right now. It's
Yes.
Twitch resigned. Another I couldn't stand to watch.
Yeah, that's a funny. My grandson likes that Blippi show. And there's a couple Blippies now. The original Blippi was done for some reason. There's another Blippi taking his place. But F. Trudy on here. Thanks for being on. And yes, there was a guy in Sudbury who's doing a crypto Ponzi scheme. He's
Ooh.
swindling people all over the world out of their crypto cash. And that was in the news a couple days ago. And not too much being said on this. But yeah, he's from Sudbury and he's doing a crypto Ponzi scheme. We also had someone from Sudbury not too long ago, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, doing a real Ponzi scheme with cash, like not crypto as well. So maybe just it's something in our water here where we have people that are pulling off Ponzi schemes on people. And good morning,
If-
Judy.
Something just sounds too good to be true, everybody. It probably is.
Yep.
You
It's,
know, I know a lot of people close to me who've gotten scammed and literally went into their bank account, took all of their money, but they gave them their bank account information. I'm like, dude, why would you do that? Well, they were helping me. I'm like, no, nobody's helping you. These are strangers across the ocean. Like, they don't
Yep.
care.
you get
Mike
the call.
Parent is on. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get through everybody here. The good morning, Monique, with a Sudbury smiley emoji. Marianne, good morning, everyone from Barrie, liked and shared as usual.
I love that you like to share what kind of emojis they have.
Yeah, I do too. Well, why not? It's
Oh, that was
you know,
sarcasm. I was sarcastic.
no, I do like sharing it.
I know.
Pat, good morning, y'all. Cloudy emoji, smiley emoji. Peace signs coming up from Rick here with Canada emojis because it says something about the mood they're in or something they're saying. Like it's like
I guess.
I'm
For the people
translating.
on the radio.
That's right, exactly. Which there's none today. So,
No.
anyways, and Mike Jameis is on as well. We've got a couple mics, everybody, and good morning to you, Debbie. Smiley emoji. Yeah, gotta love technology for sure. And there's the political mess on Parliament Hill. Missed the Conservatives won another by-election in Langley, BC yesterday, for sure. Yeah, that probably was all just a distraction from showing again another crack in the government. You know that Conservatives, every time there's a by-election, they're winning. At least the Liberals are losing all the by-elections, and we're going to have pretty much a Conservative majority if there was to be an election anytime soon. Good morning. Kindness is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding.
Have you ever told Sudbury News about your plans, possibly?
No, and I don't know what it is because I can't find somebody. But hang on one
maybe
second.
someone here can help you.
I will put it out there for sure. I am going to. But
Yeah.
but Linda, she shares like a positive kind of statement every day, and it usually sets the
Every
tone
morning.
for the show. So kindness
Okay.
is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness.
I
Kindness
like that.
is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness, because we sometimes want to correct or poke at when someone has a weakness. I've been historically guilty of that.
Me
I know
too.
my oldest daughter, instead of just lending them some help or whatever when you see weakness and not putting them down or shedding light on it, just kind of being there to encourage and be positive with them. So a lot of people just saying good morning to a Nick, but here's Liette, who likes putting her emojis within her salutations. Good morning, smiley face, everyone from Collingwood, peace sign. Right? So it says something about people where they put their emojis. It's very creative. And
I saw an old friend, and she was telling me that she got another job at the bar, like an extra job.
Yeah.
She worked for Revenue Canada, and she got a job downtown. She's like, "Hey, Nick, I can't work there. Like, it is not the same. Like, it is dangerous." Like, when I was there, 2 guys pulled out a gun. And this happens often. And I'm just looking at Sudbury.com to see what's going on. And 3 people arrested after gunshot reported in Chelmsford.
in
And I'm just
Chelmsford.
like,
And what's
wow.
another point with this when I saw that story this morning was what's up with Chelmsford? Like it's almost like it's down. It's like its own city with a downtown, with a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of, crime comes out of Chelmsford. I don't know why that is. What's the reasoning for it?
Well, I don't know. When I went to high school, I didn't hang out with people from Chemi because they hung out with people from Levac. And Levac were always into bad things and
So
trouble.
it's Levac then. That's the reason.
Levac is probably just moving into Chemi.
Oh, okay. They're a bad influence on Chelmsford.
Or, I don't know. I don't want to say this, but there's a lot of people moving in. I don't know,
Oh, no, there is. And a lot of these shootings and things are gangs from Toronto coming up and drug related, right? So,
Right.
and yeah, it's just a lot of drugs. And with a lot of drugs, you get a lot of crime. And
So
with
much
a lot of crime, you get a lot of guns.
And the police aren't doing anything. There's like a bunch of kids in the valley who keep stealing stuff. And the police keep getting called and they're like, "Guys, we can't do anything." And they're like, "What do you mean?" "Well, they have nothing. Like, what are we going to charge them with? They're just kids." I'm like, "Well, grab them, arrest them, and put them in the Cecil Faceler." "Oh, we don't do that anymore." What do you mean? So literally, guys, I shouldn't even be promoting this, but if you have nothing, it looks like you can just go out there and steal and take advantage of people, and well, nothing's going to happen because you own nothing and they can't do anything because you literally own nothing. I was like, wow, what a sad world.
No, and we see this worldwide. There's this whole thing going on.
You're allowed to steal up to $1,000 a day
where
in the state.
Remember, well, even in Toronto, remember they said, "Here, just put your key fob at the door." Like,
Yes.
why try and
No, it was at the mall too. A bunch of people went to the jewelry store and took a bunch of jewelry because they're allowed to steal up to 1,000, and nobody's doing anything. And
Yeah.
then you're told that if you do something, you will get arrested. What? What? Wasn't there a thing back in the day, Aaron, that we were allowed to be police officers? Like it's called like community
Like
arrest,
neighborhood watch or community, citizens arrest.
something like that. Anyway,
Citizens arrest.
citizens arrest.
Yeah, I
Well,
know,
now you can't.
and it's crazy. I don't understand it, but yeah, the Toronto police say just put your key fob in your mailbox because
So
you
that
don't want them coming in your house, and then maybe they'll harm you.
Yeah.
Where is our world going to or
I know.
coming
But then
to?
if I had like a knife and I stabbed him in the neck, I would get charged for like
You would.
murder.
Yep, you would because
But like you're
you
in my
used
house, and you have
you
like,
used
you have no idea what's
excessive
going on.
force. You use excessive force on them when you shouldn't have.
I know, it's pathetic.
Yep, no, it's way backwards. Doesn't make any sense at all. And so Chrystia Freeland, I think, is the big the
Okay.
big story here today, right?
Yes.
Just because, and a lot of people, maybe if you don't really
Oh.
watch the news much, go ahead.
Marianne said the blue coating is actually really horrible for your eyes.
The blue blockers,
Yeah.
it's
Interesting.
horrible for your eyes.
What if that's all a sham?
Well, that's what the guy at Costco said at the, they have the optometrist.
He
They
said it
got
was a
everything
sham?
at Costco. Yeah, they said they don't really work. They're just a gimmick.
Wow. And then I just want to put it out there. Belinda said many good souls are born and raised in Nick. And I'm like, you're so right, Belinda. That was just, kind of a joke about the teenagers in Levac,
And that's right. There's people on here from that Levac area, and
Yes,
we know
I know.
they know we were joking.
Yes.
Levac is a very special place that I've been to many times. Played hockey there, have friends
All
who
right.
live there. Went there many times. Pass by there all the time on my way to Timmins, and give a little salute to Levac. It's a special place. It's kind of like I think of Capriol and Levac in the same way. They're kind of like both the outlining areas as far as you can go. One's on separate highways. One's at the end of the road. One's on the way to Timmins. Anyways, I'll stop with my similarities because they end there. But it's just little communities. That there's something special about just a small little community. You got your post office. You got your little grocery store.
I know. We had really amazing small communities, and then Greater Sudbury really ruined that.
Yeah, with amalgamation, right? Now we're
Yeah.
the greater city of Sudbury, which is
Yeah.
just a huge conglomerate.
And then I heard they're spending like millions of dollars fixing the Valley fire
Yep.
station. And people are like, well, what are you guys spending that much money doing there? What is necessary? So now there's not going to be any firefighters there for a while. So that means people from town, like they're driving 30 minutes to go to a fire now. The Valley's gotten really big.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
again, they have to do what they got to do. There's less and less volunteers
There's a reason for that, Aaron.
Yep,
There's a
there
reason
is.
for that because a lot of people want to be volunteers.
Yep. But
So-
there's a lot of training now. You need more training. There's more time that's asked of you, and you get woken up at the middle of the night. You're like one of the first responders, so you better have a life where you don't really.
I know, but that was never a problem before. So obviously the
you're right.
system itself
Yep.
has created that so that they can create this problem. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like, okay,
Something's
how
changed.
can something is going on
Yep.
like at head office for this to happen so that they can eliminate some money, they can eliminate a bunch of things, and then be like, oh well guys, nobody's like interested because of this. I call BS.
Yeah, you're right. Something changed. There were a lot more people wanting to be volunteer firefighters in the past, and that was you thought your foot in the door to get to be a full-time firefighter at some point.
I know someone who's tried to take the test, like you said, and failed twice. And they used to be a firefighter, but they had to take this test and they failed twice. And they're like, this is crazy. Like, I don't really why for you to, no offense, but it's kind of like a goalie. Whoever wants to be a goalie, like just let them be a goalie. Like that's crazy if you want to be a goalie, you know? Like you kind of have a
Yeah.
different mindset. If you want to be a guy that goes into a burning house, let him,
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. I
Why
mean,
why do you have to take this test? Like it has nothing to do with your, yes, of course, but it's hands-on. So it's a different kind of intellect. Like for me, like reading a book and answering questions, I'm like, ugh. But like put me out there to do something, I will excel. You know what I'm trying to say right now?
well, yeah, but society, by and large, is getting more and more regulated as we see.
I know.
Insurance
LDS.
costs go up, and there's more involved. There's liabilities now
Well,
more
now
than ever.
everyone's insurance is gonna go up because
Yeah,
we don't have a fire station
for
around.
sure, 100%, for sure. And I think
Mm.
there's lots to be said. But John Taylor joining us from the Hawaiian Islands. I just want to give a shout out to
Ooh.
John. Thanks for being on.
We have friends that are in Hawaii right now.
We do, yes.
The Sagels.
Yep. And shout out to them if they've come on, here and there throughout the show. There's so many new people coming on. I just want to welcome all the new people. If you haven't been on before, we get a chance to just discuss local issues.
The mayor was
local-
open to more immigration. Of course.
Yes. Mayors, that is a story on Sudbury.news here that there's the pilot program for skilled workers that they're hoping the government will continue with here in the city, because apparently they're hard to fill positions that we can't fill ourselves, and we need new Canadians for. And
Yeah, these are all lies. How many people, you work in an area where you can't find people jobs? There's no jobs right now. There's a problem happening. These are just all lies. All lies.
yeah, and I've heard stories of, because there's a protocol there, you have to post the job for so long. And if you don't get qualified people for it, then you can, get subsidies for a new
Right.
Canadian or a foreign worker. And then so
You
that
actually
saves your
make,
company money, right? By
yes,
not paying them as much. So these companies, they'll put out these ads. People are applying left, right, and center,
they
but they
ignore
just
it.
don't. They ignore it. They don't even
I
don't even
know.
respond. Because I have people
I know.
coming to me saying, I've been applying, and they keep putting the same job post ad up, and I'm qualified for this job, but they're not getting back to me. And
I
then
know.
they show the government, nope, no one applied, and so I put it up for 3 months, and then they're able to hire a foreign worker, and they get a subsidy, so they don't pay them as much,
Yeah.
and that's the way this kind of racket works. So I don't know if that's going on
That's
locally
how
or
the
not.
cookie crumbles, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening in these larger corporations with higher paid jobs, or if it's just like the fast food industry or service industry. I'm not sure, but it definitely is taking place. I'm in that industry, so I do know that there's many people who can't find jobs. If there were so many jobs that are hard to fill, everyone
Yeah.
would have a job, and our unemployment rate wouldn't be so high. We have the highest unemployment rate right now in decades. So why do we have such a high unemployment rate
It's just
if there's
ridiculous.
so many jobs to fill?
Do we have like a good story to share today?
Like a
'Cause I feel
positive
like-
story?
Oh man, this country and all the news, right? Like, so if anybody has like a good, happy, fuzzy story, maybe put it in the comments and we can share about it. Any good news, we can share it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I feel we'll
sure.
have to end it on a positive note because holy moly. But hey, here's the thing, I remember, who is it? Gandhi. He ended up in a concentration camp. And well, one thing that they had no control over it was his spirit. They can't take our spirit away. And even though all of these horrible things are happening around us, they can't take our spirit away. And we could keep having hope and faith that, all of this nonsense is going to bring us to the light.
Well, Sudbury.com reporting that Sudbury's Mark Mayer picks up his Order of Canada. There's a positive.
Okay.
Mayer is the former director of the National Gallery of Canada. So he had an award, which is a prestigious award when you get the Order of Canada. I don't think there's a higher award you can get, and that's usually someone who's given a life of service and contributed to Canada in a unique
So who
way.
got this?
Mark Mayer. He's from
Oh, I
Sudbury.
saw that.
Yeah,
Wow.
and he got the Order of Canada. So there's a little bit of
Wow.
there's positive. And then someone found some abandoned puppies in Coppercliff, so they've been saved. So they're probably looking for homes.
Oh.
Coppercliff found on surveillance camera. Some people, finding these. But I just wanted to get to Chrystia Freeland here.
Okay.
Story covered from Sudbury.com. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland has resigned from her cabinet on the same day she was meant to table the Liberal government's fall economic statement. So just to set it up here, they're there to deliver the state of the economy and what their plans are for the economy. This is what happens yesterday. Remember on the show, I said they're getting their budget ready and they're going to announce it and blah, blah, blah. Well,
Yeah.
before they were able to do that, the news came out that Chrystia Freeland had resigned.
Oh.
So all the press are waiting for this new budget to be released, and they want to read it and they want to talk about it. And that's what the whole day is going to be. But now the whole day is talking about her resignation instead of the actual budget itself.
Well, isn't that interesting, Aaron? I'm seeing a little bit of a red flag here. Like, what if that was all on purpose? Like, because
to
haven't we been
distract.
waiting for a budget? So yeah, great distraction.
And billions of deficit year after year after year.
Yeah.
I mean, would have been the conversation about how incompetent our government has been at running the country in terms of its finances. So instead of they were projecting $41 billion deficit, meaning if you were looking at this in your household, you would be $40 billion in the hole at the end of the year. That's what they're
Yeah.
saying our government was going to be. We're projecting that we're going to have $40 billion of credit card debt by the end of the year. That's the best we can do. That's the best we can do
Wow.
to run the country. We're living beyond our means, and we're
Yeah.
just going to borrow. We're going to borrow from a credit card for $41 billion. But they said when they came out with the budget yesterday, we couldn't reach the $41 billion in the hole. So we had to go $61 billion in the hole. So that was their budget. So imagine someone like that in charge of your finances at your house, or that was your economic advisor with your investments. How would that be good?
No, this whole thing makes zero sense. It's just like I don't really understand it, but I am a company that prints my own money, but I am in debt and I need to borrow from other people, and then let's go print more money to give to everybody so that everybody has, $75 so that we're more in debt. So we have to pay more interest on the money that we've printed. I'm just seeing, so now we're all in debt. So what you said, like we are living above our means. I heard Trump and talk about that too, that people are going to struggle because we need to bring down costs and, so people are going to struggle. And these are billionaires that are saying like, people are going to struggle, guys. So I'm just seeing the big picture here. It's just like, how perfect is this plan? Let's spend, but everyone understands we need to stop spending. So now there's going to be less money in our economy. People are now going to go actually get like starved. There's going to be starving children. There is already right now. There's going to be even more problems. Then they're going to come in with a solution. And Aaron, what will be that solution? So this is like the perfect plan for them to take control of everything.
Well, we do know that there's plans to have a digital currency and a digital ID for
Right.
the citizens of the world, not just Canada, but Canada has their own version in the works for digital currency. That way, again, there will be more control with the digital currency because cash will no longer be a commodity and it'll all be ones and zeros, digital.
Yep.
And it'll be linked with your choices that you make. You'll be rewarded or punished according to the choices you make in your life. So called a social credit system.
Yeah.
Your social behavior will be, let's say,
Well, right now I'd be losing points.
yeah, whatever you say on
Losing
social
points.
media because
Yeah,
you
like
went
I'm already
against the
going to be
government.
starting in the negative.
Yeah. So you get deducted social credit points because of what
Yeah.
you said on social media. They're making it law now
Yeah.
with all these bills coming out that they're saying it's to protect children, but it's basically to limit what you're
Yes.
free to say on
And
the internet.
Vin said that employee increase have up by 40% increase in government employees. So
Yeah.
obviously they're doing something.
Yeah, I mean they just just they're hiring people by the droves in government, and that's just since Trudeau took over. And
Brian says, borrowing from Paul to pay Peter to pay John who owes Paul. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on right now. And then easy. Okay, guys, there's been a World War. Everyone, it's like the Depression. The whole world is going to work together and we're just going to eliminate the debt. But we have to bring in this digital currency. At this point, people are just starved, living on the street. They're all going to say, yeah, everyone's going to start with $500 or $1,000 of free credit in their bank account as soon as you sign up. Well, people need to feed their children.
Yeah.
It's just what? They're not
never,
stupid. We think they're stupid, Aaron. They're not.
They would never bribe people like that.
Actually, they'll just offer ice cream.
Well, they're talking about this $250 that they promised originally with this GST holiday. And that was, that was what CBC were kind of trying to find out, this $250, there's been, and Chrystia Freeland apparently didn't agree with this GST holiday or the $250, right?
Ooh.
So there's tension between Freeland and the Prime Minister's office over the recently announced rebate offering Canadians $250 cash and the GST holiday. She called it just political gimmicks. It was just a political gimmick.
Well, she's getting bonus points from me right now.
Yeah. And
which now what are we going to see? More distraction, more conversation. She's going to come out and share all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to see way more distraction. And then let's see what the bills are happening behind that. They're just going to pass through because there's all this distraction in Canada.
And one of the things the CBC reporter kept alluding to was the reason why the budget, the deficit was so large is because all these lawsuits that the government had to pay. And I was like, well, tell me more. Like it's not something I'm hearing a lot about because, I work a full-time job. I do this part-time. I have my finger on the pulse of news. I'm trying to keep up with the international news, North American news, Canadian news, provincial news, local news, just on my, free time basically. And how much are we paying in lawsuits?
Yeah.
Canada,
like what's going on?
Exactly.
Why is Canada being sued?
Like I do know, like the CRA, like the one thing they made their payroll system called Phoenix.
Yes.
And it doesn't work. And it's the CRA. They're the ones in charge of our money in Canada. They can't even make their own payroll system that works. And it cost us billions of dollars just in the development of it, of something that doesn't work.
Yep.
And then I know there's lawsuits according to that because people would go years and years without being paid. And they'd have to borrow money and work full time. Yeah. And now, of course, you're going to sue. And who are you suing? You're suing the government. So where's that money coming from when you win? You win, oh, look, we got a landmark, ruling where we get millions of dollars in compensation. Well, where's that money coming from?
Yep.
Coming from the government. It's coming from taxpayers.
Yep.
So it's just incompetence, one thing after another. That's just, and Chrystia Freeland's even saying, like, this is just not fiscally responsible. You can't just keep giving money away. And even as a journalist, she was able to see this,
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't have a financial background. I think she was gaining experience while she was in the role. I think she was learning
that it was all a sham. At first, she was like all excited. She probably got the job. This is awesome. and then everyone's just brainwashing you about like what we want you to do. And she's like, okay. And after
No.
a while, she maybe been waking up, and she's like, this is actually ridiculous.
She was pretty brainwashed to begin with, and she was pretty much on par with it because she wrote the biography of a fellow by the name of George Soros. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh wow.
And she's basically, part of the WEF. She's
Yeah, no, she
World
is.
Economic Forum. So she's not
Yes.
she's not just being told things and, kind of
Right. She was
innocently.
bred
Yeah,
into it.
she's part of the
problem.
the big kids club kind of thing of the few ruling the many kind of thing. So, but it looks like whether or not she's legitimately at odds with Justin Trudeau, or is this just theater to distract? We never know these things in politics. And just like the divorce of Justin Trudeau, I heard that was done just for financial reasons, because if they're married, they're in a lot of hot water with some of their financial dealings. But if they're separated, then they're okay. So there's no criminality going on or whatever, conflicts of interest. So you never know reasons for things behind the scenes, and there's just so much going on. They're just, it's not boring.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
No.
It's whoa. It's my head's spinning with all the stuff
It's like
going
Hunger
on.
Games.
It's crazy. But even the GST, though, people are saying they're not that much of a fan of it. Like businesses, people, like the government just trying to do this gimmick with people thinking, oh, good. They'll think, we're helping
And
them
that's
out
what
or
he's going to
whatever.
say. He's going to say, I put the money into Canadian families.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what we care about.
Yeah, we're putting money back in Canadians' pockets. That's what he says about the carbon tax, that more people are making money off a
Okay.
tax than they're paying, which is totally wrong. It's totally been debunked, but he keeps saying it over and over. If you say a lie enough times, people begin to believe it. Is that what the saying is?
Yes.
So shoppers and businesses across Canada are expressing mixed feelings and showing little enthusiasm for the 2-month break from the federal GST that took effect on Saturday. So obviously there's a owner of a store. We talked yesterday, right? The CBC just went to two businesses that, a game store and a bookstore that are largely benefiting from
Right.
the GST holidays. That's their unbiased journalism that they do. Is terrible example of journalism, I just have to say. There's very few times I see really good, credible journalism coming out of that organization, which is a bloated organization paid $1.5 billion of our tax money to operate, and it's a shame. But anyways, here's this from Sudbury.com. Lori Parker, the owner of an independent toy store in Toronto, said the sales tax holiday could be a good for business because it makes shopping cheaper for customers, but the measure meant more work for her staff over the holiday season, which is what we said earlier. This is going to be a burden on businesses big time. It does give them a break on costs, but we knew from the get-go that it would be a lot of work. The owner of Treasure Island Toy Store said her shop sells thousands of items, and it was not easy to figure out what's covered and what's not. It was very laborious. We spent a lot of time reading and rereading what was included in the tax break and what was not included. So this is like what? Well, they got nothing better to do with their time, business owners, than figure out, okay, what's exactly included? Because some of the things were a little bit abstract, some of the categories and things like that. And they had to figure out, okay, does this qualify? Does that qualify? Because what's going to happen if they put a wrong item that either shouldn't have had it or should have had it on, when they do their taxes,
they're going to have to pay that back.
Yeah, what the government now has to police this thing.
And then now you have an accountant. Now you have to pay your accountant to take the time, or your bookkeeper to do this activity because you're running a full-time business.
All for a political gimmick, as Chrystia Freeland says it. That's it. It's a gimmick. She was the finance minister who unveiled this whole thing, and she's saying it was a gimmick from the get-go. So that tells you something. And again, So Justin Trudeau goes through his meeting where he was expected by some to resign last night along with her, like afterwards, just resign and say, we're going to have another leader. But no, in true Justin Trudeau fashion, digs in his heels and goes and gives a speech that he's unresolved. He's going to stand up against the danger of Pierre Poilievre and his dangerous possible, way he's going to run the country. We're doing so good. We've done so many good things, and he's going to come and ruin it all.
Wow.
That was his speech. Can you believe that? That's just bizarre. The emperor has no clothes.
It's true.
100%.
It's so sad. It just makes no sense, but it's just a bunch of clowns. And like you said, it's theater. It's all theater. And it's just, and for people to actually trust Justin Trudeau, like there's liberals out there, there's actual people that trust this whole government. There's still people who trust the government. Like that's mind blowing to me. Like we live in completely different realities here where I see a red apple, they see a full blown green apple. And I'm just like, whoa, like it's definitely red, Something kind of off topic. Every time I share this Sudbury news to Freedom Convoy, like Sudbury, they decline it. And it's just like, we're on the same team.
Oh, I don't know. It depends. Maybe I said something on the show or something that somebody didn't like.
No, I know, but it's all about freedom.
No. In the it's like a freedom movement, if you will. It's almost like a religion. There's a lot of infighting in that whole. A lot of people don't see eye to eye, and they bicker back and forth and whatever. And it just depends who's the moderator of the Facebook page.
Well, we're about freedom of speech, and we should all be friends.
Maybe they just
don't
want this video up on their Facebook page or whatever. Maybe they're more than happy to whatever, but they just don't want this as part of their content. I have no idea. Who knows? Maybe you can reach out to the moderator and say, hey, what's the dealio? What's the dealio?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
We should be all on the same team.
Yeah, it is what it is. There's fractures everywhere.
Someone did share about how Israel is releasing something, like things are getting heated up in Israel right now. So that's kind of on the radar.
Yeah, no, everywhere. NATO is saying, get ready for war. Get your mind set, prepared for war, and stop thinking otherwise. So that's an indication of what their plans are. No, the world's definitely volatile right now. It's very like a bunch of dried out twigs, and there's a flame right beside it, and it could go anytime. So unfortunately, speaking of time, that's all the time we have today. Time flies, and it's all the time we have.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a good time.
We did.
And we're going to see you next time tomorrow.
Yes, you will. Yes.
And looking forward to that. We'll continue the conversation. Again, any news stories that you feel are important, you just share them at sudburynews@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook Messenger. Share them with us. We really appreciate you guys. You guys make the show. It's your conversation on your station when the actual software is working. And it's our time to share our views on the news on these online platforms. So thanks, Nick.
No problem. I got a really good deal on a painting. So if anybody's looking for a painter, send me a PM. She's giving everyone a family and friends discount. She's just new in Sudbury. She's amazing. She's painting my bathroom. So if anybody's looking, like it's $300 for 6 hours or something. That's super cheap. So if anybody needs some painting done in the new year, give me a head up and I can get you that contact because we like deals and helping new people.
There you go. So shout out for the painter. You can just message Nick for this great deal of somebody who's going to do a great job at a great price.
Yes.
And thanks everyone for being with us today. I guess we're going to put on Earshot Daily on CKLU, but that has nothing to do with our live stream here since we're not on the radio today. But we'll see you same time, same place on the same platforms tomorrow. Make sure to stay aware, like, share, take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again, Nick.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Ciao.
on the morning shift.